Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? I hope you're all doing very, very well. Now, when's the last time a film actually scared you? I mean, genuinely scared you. I don't mean like terrifying movies where it's just endless gore and really ghastly, horrible scenarios. I don't mean that. I don't mean Exorcist Believer either. God. Films that genuinely frighten you. It could be the thematic quality, it could be the performance of the antagonist, it could be anything about it. Back in the 70s, stuff scared you. The Exorcist, Hills of Eyes, Suspiria, Halloween, The Fog, The Omen. These films had an effect upon you. Nowadays it's very, very hard to do it. And of course they come up with all sorts of like, it's going to be special effects, we're going to do that. And, you know, it's not working. We're not afraid of things these days. We want to see the spectacle and enjoy the roller coaster ride of a horror movie. But what makes your skin crawl? Well, I'm speaking personally, and for many of you guys and girls out there as well, arachnophobia. Spiders, yes, those bloody 8-legged freaks. How many more spider films can I drop into that there? Yeah, spiders work. And, you know, even if it's like Tarantula, you know, the old Jack Arnold 1950s big creature feature, I've reviewed it. It's tremendous and it is frightening because it's a great big bloody spider. And even like in Arachnophobia where they're not big. Well, you got the big one, the main one. But the little ones are still bloody dangerous. And in your house, at any given time, you've got a gazillion spiders in there. You have. You see them when they move out in the springtime to go and find a mate. They go outside. You see them in transit. And of course, what goes out must come back in again. So later in the year, when it gets cold out there, they come back in. Now, we've had in the Kilt Mansion, my God, unbelievable spiders. I mean, truly big, outlandish things. Beautiful, multicoloured things as well. And that thing that bit me on the back of the leg a couple of years ago now. You guys, you know this. I showed you the damage it did. And I'm still scarred by that. And scared by it as well. Because if one spider can do that, and I almost lost a leg, for God's sake. No, I didn't. But it was pretty bad though. And you think, I said to the doctor, a female doctor at the time, I said, what the hell is this? I hoisted my kilt up. I said, what the bloody hell? What's going on down there? And she went, oh, it's a spider bite. And I went, are you kidding me? A spider bite? In the UK? What kind of spider has done that in the UK? And she went, oh, I was thinking it's a tarantula or something that's has got on with a crate of bananas, all of that caper. And she went, no, it's just a common or garden British house spider or even British garden spider. You just accidentally maybe sat on it, lay on it. I know what happened. I was in bed and I rolled over one morning and just thought, a bit of an itch there. So the fucker was in the bed. It was clearly in the bed and I rolled over on it. And it went, yeah. Never saw the body, never saw the carcass, never saw the critter itself. But its damage was well wrought. And yeah, it was exceptionally painful. And 2 doses of antibiotics lasting weeks. And yeah, it went going down. And like the nurse, I keep calling it a nurse, the female doctor was like, you know, if you start seeing like trails and streams and, you know, it's into your bloodstream and all that, you've got to come back. And we did begin to see that. And it formed a huge sort of this throbbing, swollen mass of a lump on my leg. And then it formed a spider web around it. So I went back, I said, what the hell is this? Has it laid eggs in me? There's a fucking web there. And she went, oh, no, it looks like that. But what it is, it's the pressure building up underneath and it cracks the surface of the skin because there's so much pressure there. Oh yeah, that really put my anxieties at rest. Not, and but it did go down eventually. But I'm scarred by that bastard. So fear of spiders, arachnophobia, I have it, and I have a genuine good reason for that. But I've done videos before on this many times. I think I even filmed that beautiful exotic spider we had in our old conservatory, the dilapidated, wrecked conservatory that we used to have. Now we have a resplendent NASA constructed conservatory. Yes, NASA. It's there. NASA materials have done our conservatory. And we needed to have something as perfect as that, because what happened before was a travesty of construction. And you could whistle and the whole thing would fly apart. Anyway, but we had these spiders in there, and this big beautiful one with all the colours of the rainbow, and it was genuinely exotic, and I kind of got to accept it. And then the poor fucker died. I thought, you haven't moved for a while, have you? And he was like clumped up, hanging from one of the rafters in his web. But he was just hanging there, and his legs had all come in like that. I'm saying him, but I don't know. And I closed in. I thought, oh, you're dead, aren't you? Oh no. I kind of got used to you. You were beautiful. I photographed him, filmed him, and I thought, oh, we'll send it off to the Natural History Museum, find out there's something really exotic and amazing, and probably, no, my luck, ultra dangerous as well. But he died. So, but back to movies around spiders. Oh, there's been millions of them, of course there have. And the giant spider invasion, yeah, it's ludicrous. And you can clearly see the Volkswagens that the big spider puppets are actually mounted upon when they're attacking all the school kids and all that. Like, and I think you only ever see two giant spiders in one shot, I think. But it's still cool. One of my favourite spider movies is The Curse of the Black Widow, which I have reviewed on the channel as well. Done by the great Dan Curtis, the guy that created Kolchak the Night Stalker. And his TV movies push the boundary of horror. And Curse of the Black Widow, it genuinely terrified me. It was a woman that transformed, because she got the curse of the Black Widow, this hereditary curse. And it's a whodunit and a big twisty turny sleuth detective yarn. But you've got people getting killed, and they're getting pumped. They're getting these big pincers go into them, and you see the spider's eye vision. It's all like 8 different visions of the victim running and terrified, and then these big pincers, these big teeth go chunk into the chest, and it's genuinely terrifying. For a TV movie, it really provoked nightmares, and I think was quite sensibating as well when you think about it. It was nasty and a horrible theme as well. So, we've had many more spider movies. You had Shelob in The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Shelob is actually there, situated right there, somewhere there, and also behind me here as well. I don't know if you can see that. But we've got a new movie coming out. It's coming out on the 12th of April 2024, and it's called Sting. Now there's another little allusion to Lord of the Rings, because, you know, Bilbo and Frodo's sword is called Sting as well. And now we know spiders don't sting, but that isn't the point. It's the name of the spider. The young girl that has this spider, which I'll read you out the synopsis. Now, ordinarily, I'd show you the trailer, and I'd be sitting in the corner of the screen going blah, 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 blah. But I really can't be bothered. No offence, I knew we were going to talk a bit more, and it's a bit redundant, me sitting up in a little corner there with the picture-in-picture stuff. So I'm just going to talk about it instead. But I'll put the link to the trailer down below so you can go and watch it at your peril. Right, now, here's the synopsis. And I've seen the trailer a few times. Like, one cold, stormy night in New York City, A mysterious object falls from the sky and smashes through the window of a run-down apartment building. It is an egg, and from this egg emerges a strange little spider. Strange little spider. The creature is discovered by Charlotte. Charlotte, a rebellious 12-year-old girl obsessed with comic books. Charlotte, I say again. Charlotte's Web, anybody? Of course. Despite her stepfather, Ethan's best efforts to connect with her through their comic book co-creation, Fangirl, Charlotte feels isolated. Her mother and Ethan are distracted by their new baby and are struggling to cope, leaving Charlotte to bond with the spider. Oh yes, we've all been there, haven't we? Your parents, no time for you, so all you've got to do is like, just, well, I've got this spider, I'll play with that instead. Never! No, I've never been in that situation, never would be in that situation. That scenario does not compute. Spiders, no way. Keeping it as a secret pet, she names it Sting. They don't sting, they bite. And don't I fucking know it. They bite and they put toxin into you. And they do horrible things to their prey. They really do. As Charlotte's fascination with Sting increases, so does its size. Oh no! Growing at a monstrous rate. Oh, isn't that even that horrible? Growing at a monstrous rate, Sting's appetite for blood becomes insatiable. God no. Neighbours' pets start to go missing, and then the neighbours themselves. Soon Charlotte's family and the eccentric characters of the building realise that they're all trapped, hunted by a ravenous, supersized arachnid with a taste for human flesh, and Charlotte is the only one who knows how to stop it. Fucking hell. I've seen the trailer, and yeah, it has all those skin-crawling moments. The little spider in its little vivarium, and she's, oh, hello, Sting, and all that. Like, oh, Sting, you've grown a bit, haven't you? And then suddenly, like, people are knocking at you. You haven't seen my cat or my dog and all that. Like, no. And there's lots of little shivery shots of something on a web descending, but it's getting bigger and bigger. And then it will cut to see the little shock cuts of people who are meshed in web, going, like that face there, and this big thing's going, and you see it leap onto people, and oh sweet Jesus, it works. It genuinely works. And the creature has been designed by Weta. Weta, of course, did Shelob for Peter Jackson and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Weta is the big effects house for Australia and New Zealand. And although the synopsis says New York, it's filmed in Australia, and most of the cast are Australian. The director, Kia Roach Turner, is Australian. Is the cast Ryan Core from House of the Dragon and The Water Diviner, Alia Brown from 3,000 Years of Longing, from George Miller, Mad Max, George Miller, Nine Perfect Strangers, Penelope Mitchell from Hellboy, that's Hellboy from the Neil Marshall version, Robin Nevin from Top of the Lake, Nonnie Hazelhurst from The End, and Jermaine Fowler from Retreat. I don't know these people, but I've seen the trailer and it did work. It genuinely unhinged me, and I thought, I love horror movies, but I watch new horror movies and just go, yeah, and I go back and I watch the classics, Night of the Demon, for God's sake, Halloween, Jaws, you know, and these things scare me. They still have that frisson, that suspense, and that just, the skin prickles, the hair stands up on the back of your neck. They work. Nothing these days works. However, spiders done correctly, and by the trailer, it looks like it's been done really well, because that thing is a right beastie, and it's out for human blood. And you got in the trailer, lots of people like, ah! And it's like, and then there's like, little eerie sequences where, Sting, are you there? It's got bigger. Oh, sweet Jesus. It works. The score, and I know we all love our movie scores, is by Anna Drubic. She's Moscow born, and I looked at her resume and I didn't know any of the stuff that she'd done, but it does look great though. I'll be honest, it does look great. It's the kind of movie that I know I shouldn't watch, but it's gonna work. I'm gonna be hopefully terrified because it can't fail to do that. You've got a scuttly and where to do in the effects. It's gonna look, well, it does look amazing. So yeah, and you're gonna see, well, they're trying to hint at how big it can get, and it's close up. Oh, it's nastiness. Now, as I reach for the whiskey, which was secreted in a web behind me there. Cheers, y'all. There's another film which I haven't seen and I can't seem to find either. It's a French movie and it came out last year, so 2023, and it's called Infested. And again, it is set in like an apartment complex. And a bit like The Raid or Attack the Block, this place, or Wreck even with the zombies, it becomes locked down because infestation of spiders. Yes, bloody spiders. French spiders, which are even worse, because they stink of onions and garlic and all that. And this one, I haven't even seen a trailer for it, but I've read about it and I've read reviews of it, and sweet Jesus, it's not one big spider, it's a million spiders, and their bite is utterly ferocious, and the effects upon you are horrific. And the film is absolutely full of real, thousands and thousands of CG spiders, but also real spiders, and they are swarming down the corridors of this apartment complex and attacking people. But the thing is, you cared about the cast. I've read this time and time again that you genuinely care about the characters in this movie. They've all got their issues and all that, but similar to this, I suppose, because this is set in an apartment building as well. So it's the same sort of scenario, but in this case, for Sting, it's one spider, one big spider. But in Infested, it's fucking millions of the bastards, and they're everywhere. And some of the reviews said, like, even if you are a spider lover, this film is gonna get you. And like, if you bring your legs up, you put your arms inside your sleeves, you're like, oh, because they're everywhere. And there's small ones, and there's big ones, and even bigger ones. But it's one main one, and I think the idea behind that is, I think you've got like a sort of like a disenfranchised bloke who's got a few issues, and he's got a few friends who are like sort of on the periphery, but he loves bugs and spiders and reptiles and things, and he brings home this spider, but it ain't your normal spider, and what it does, it escapes and mates with the local spiders and causes whoosh, an absolute deluge of arachnids, a tsunami of eight-legged freaks, and wow. Now that film is out. That's called Infested. If you've seen it and you know where to watch it, how to get hold of it, please let me know, because I can't find the bastard anywhere and I really want to. And again, it's one of those where I know I shouldn't, because it's going to really, really, really upset me probably, but I want that. I want that excitement. I want that frisson. I want that. God, I've not had that for decades. I've not had that fear, that reflex, jumping out of my skin and being like, no. I'm not it. And I want that. That's what a horror movie's meant to do. it's meant to elicit those primal reactions, emotions, and fear. And because of that, it's cathartic. You get over it, you watch someone else suffering, and you go through it, but then at the end of it, hey, well, I've survived, because it could be a happy ending for the movie. I don't know. In either case, I don't know if it's a happy ending or not. But Infested sounds like a really grueling nightmare. But I want to do it. I want to do it. And Sting looks a bit more fun, perhaps. And we're getting the remake of Arachnophobia as well, which I have reported on. God, ages ago. What's happened to that? I've not heard any more news about that, but I presume it's still going ahead. And Arachnophobia was it was the family fun version of what I've just been discussing. There was still plenty of horrific moments in it, and your skin did crawl because there was plenty of these critters. And you had, is it Big Bob, the big main one, that put the bite on the poor Julian Sands, R.I.P. Julian Sands. Jesus, terrible, sad story that. But it is great, but it's very enjoyable. It's kind of jokey. You got John Goodman in there, as the pest exterminator, and he's got all his bits and his Ghostbusters suit and all this kind of equipment that he's got. It is played for laughs. It's a much more easygoing sort of horror movie. Got its moments, but no, I want to see, and I'm punishing myself here because I know these two movies are seriously going to work. Forget about your big ass spider, that which actually is quite good fun in a really low key, really amateurish sort of style, but it actually is quite good fun at the same time. And there's many other spider movies, as I said before, like Tarantula and The Incredible Shrinking Man, of course, is one of the best. No, it's not a big spider. Well, it actually is a big spider. It's a cellar dweller, a Midwest American cellar dweller. They can be fucking huge. But our guy, he's shrunk. He's the shrinking man. So what he could have once stepped on becomes this huge monster, and he's stuck in the basement. Oh my god! And he's shrunk down to like this size, and he's got to combat this spider that wants him. Oh my god! It is outstanding. There's 50s movies where I forgot what it's called now. There's a giant spider on Mars, and the astronaut has to battle this spider. You've got other ones where they're kind of really sort of like paper mache spiders with a lot of fur stuck on them, living in what is it now? Is it Earth versus the giant Earth versus the spider, something like that? And they live in like the mines of these old like quaint rural townships and communities, and people start going missing, and they'll get found. They're all like enmeshed in web. Again, like Eight-Legged Freaks was brilliant. I loved Eight-Legged Freaks, but it wimped out because pretty much everyone who was caught by the spiders was still alive, and just enmeshed in web, cocooned. And like they were rescued at the end. Well, that just completely diluted all the horror that you just watched. It's still got some great moments. I mean, them fucking jumping ones, and you got the kids on the dirt bikes, and they're going over the sand dunes, and these fucking spiders are jumping after them as well, like, and they're whoa. It is perfect for a horror movie. Spiders, even little ones. I don't mind. Little ones are great. They're fine. Money spiders, as we call them in this country, little money spiders, no issues whatsoever. But the big fuckers, and they seem bigger, as you look at them. Like if one scuttled across the floor right now, I'd be on the ceiling, without a doubt, and screaming like a fucking banshee. And they scuttle across. It's the movements, it's the legs, it's the face, it's the big bulbous abdomen. It's all of that, and some of them don't have that, but even smaller body but big legs. There's no combination of a spider that's not terrifying. Now, I've got friends who collect spiders and keep them as pets. Yeah, Cristiano Dior Yeah. Not his real name, obviously. But yeah, and he sends me pictures of his spiders. And fuck me, man. You know, I'm not into it at all. I can't. You've just seen this girl in Sting keeps a spider. The guy in Infested keeps a spider. And look what happens. They escape, they get out, and they cause absolute chaos and horrific horribleness. You've got to be kidding me. I'm not keeping a spider. Don't need to keep a spider. They're everywhere. There's two up there right now. Right up there in the corner there. But they've been there for a while, so I'm not that bothered about them. A little tiny web. And there's some in the window just over here as well. There's always going to be spiders, but so long as they stick to their own little, I've made a home here. I won't disturb you if you don't disturb me. Fine. Do your job then. As summer approaches and fucking flies start giving it loads, I want these bastards to do their job. Your job is to kill flies. You're nature's gardeners. You do a grand job. Well, the last few years, you've been really shit at doing it. So fucking pull your fingers out. I don't know how, you've got 8 legs. How many fingers would that be? Get on with the job. Get it done. But movie-wise, it is set in stone. Spiders are going to terrify you. So, I mean, all you keep spiders as pets. Do you get afraid by watching a big giant spider movie? You know what these things are capable of. Now you imagine if one could really get to that size. I know that everyone says that spiders never got that big. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, there's been lately there's been quite a lot. Australia again, finding fossils of, the headlines will be, giant spider fossil found. You're thinking fossils? They've got no fucking bones. But they still leave a trace. And they keep finding these old trapdoor spiders or wolf spiders. And they go, they're giants. And then he showed, no, they're not. They're not, they're barely as big as my hand. What the fuck? But there's got to be a reason why the human species is afraid, by and large, of spiders. And all you guys are like, I'm not afraid of them at all. But I'm afraid there's a huge, vast majority of people that are afraid. Got to be a reason for that. Got to be a reason for it. I've discussed this before on previous videos, way back. Has to be a reason for it. So, in prehistoric times, were they really big? Science says no, because the way their bodies are built, they couldn't exist at a much bigger size. They'd be crushed by gravity. It just wouldn't work. Really? Were you there? Why has mankind got this, from birth, this fear of spiders? Oh yeah, there's some of you guys that haven't got that fear, but yeah, you're a fucking minority. The rest of us, So, I think there must have been big ones. If you think back to, speaking of big ones, hammers, 20 million years BC, with Raquel Welch and John Richardson and all that. What a fantastic movie. I've reviewed it as well. But you have got the scenes of the great big, it's just matted in, the great big hairy tarantula coming over the rocky mounds and all that, which scares our cave people. And but there's something to that. There has to be a reason why we have this inbuilt fear of a spider. It ain't just 8 legs and scuttling about, and the weird eyes, and the big fucking, it's got big teeth. They fucking bite. They put venom into you. And the thing is, I'm saying spiders don't sting. Shelob stings. She's got a stinger on the end of hers. And some spiders do have a little, which you can stab you with. But if the primary weapon is the toxin, which they're going to just, as they bite you, they're putting the venom into you there, right then and there. God. They're like Terminators, aren't they? Just so friggin' relentlessly nasty. And and they cocoon you in their web and then return to you at their leisure. And they turn your insides into liquid and drain it out. But they also eat meat. They eat meat. These things are horrific, which is why they're great in movies like this. So, Sting, I'm looking forward to. What's the date again? 12th of April. I'm not sure if that's a worldwide release date. That's just the release date that I've got. But I can't wait to see it, to be honest. But I want to see Infested. That's the one which really, I think Sting will be the one more, it'll be horror, but you've got a little girl involved in it, and I think it'll be nasty, but it'll be more akin to Arachnophobia, albeit only one spider. Infested is different, a different kettle of fish. You give a shit about the characters, and they are put in the most extreme situations with gazillions of spiders. Some small, some just normal, some bigger, and then some really big ones. God almighty. I can't wait. I'm playing the soundtrack to The Relic at the moment, and let me just check on this. John Debney's score for The Relic has no connection to spiders whatsoever, not really. But I just thought it's edgy, it's scary, it's people running through dark corridors and subterranean warrens and a big thing with nastiness coming after them. And that's kind of what I'm inspired by with these two movies. Please, as I said before, if you can find where I can get hold of Infested, please let me know, because I kind of desperately want to see it, which is so bizarre. I'm longing to watch a grueling horror movie about spiders killing people in really nasty ways. But yeah, I am. And I will report upon it, of course, if I ever do get hold of it. And Sting, gonna have that. Folks, you get bitten by a spider. Don't pour whiskey on the wound. Put up with the wound, but don't waste the whiskey. That's what I'm saying. So, in the meantime, in this ever itchy, spidery, skin crawling in between time, please keep it Celtic, keep it Celtic. And I am going to see you all with a big pest controller sitting at my side to protect me from the arachnoid invasions yet to come.